Right, shoot.
Welcome.
Shoot, thank you.
Shoot. So here's what I ask you right off the bat. Are you going to dance in this freaking thing or what?
Dance episode.
No. No dance.
What talents? Not, get other talents?
I don't know. No, there'll be no singing and no. No, nothing.
No.
Nothing.
I think Captain Jack can sing too.
Well, I think he probably can too. Maybe Russell will put me in a karaoke.
Come on, no, that'd be funny.
But like we have a karaoke night. But again, if we did that, I couldn't sing seriously. I'd have to be silly about it because it just it wouldn't feel right.
Really?
It wouldn't feel right. Just let me fuck. Don't let me sing.
Yes.
I'd much rather do. Wouldn't you rather do that? Tell me about it.
Really? Okay, so let me ask you this.
What? 9.5.
That's like centimeters or inches?
Michael Hyman.
Sorry.
What do you think?
We're getting dirty here, you know?
Well, I'm gonna fucking make it better than Jane did.
Oh my God! You have to say, "Oh my God."
Oh.
Just worked on Caprica before that. So you have to say gods.
Okay.
Not
okay.
God, gods. Okay.
All right.
So the question. All right. Question number 2. I don't be a hot guys, but question 2.
That's question 3, actually.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm giving you a freebie.
The Stars has a lot of sexual. Well, how can I say this?
Shows.
Lenience. Yeah. So, for you playing this role, what can you do to kick this shit up notches unknown? What can you tell us?
Well, put it
Just
in,
give us a strand of hair.
No.
One little tiny baby
I
hair.
shave. The
We
thing.
say that.
No. The thing that we do is our sex is for it has to be part of the story. We can't just have gratuitous sex. The one thing that I'm really proud about in this series, and I'll be totally honest with you, what's on tonight is there's just basically a scene where he goes to fuck, right? Because he's mortal, he has never experienced that kind of the feelings before. He's always been very hard, cold, and he can sleep, he can get drunk, he can lay next to someone and really be passionate about it. So he's going out to get laid. But there's episode 5 that's coming up is one where we explore, and we explore a past relationship of Jack's where we get and Russell said to Eve and I, this is his gift to us in the writing. We also find out a lot about Jack and Gwen's relationship, and it's not what you think. It's going to go down a path that you didn't think you were going to go down. But this relationship that Jack gets involved in, I'm really proud of it, because if I were a young man growing up and watched a TV series like that, or had a network like Stars that was showing how people actually do have sex and behave, right? And not pretending that it doesn't happen.
That's a great point.
We have a relationship. I have a relationship with this man, and it's a truly passionate, love, real relationship. And you see two men making love. You know, jokingly I say that because there's the fuck happens in this episode, but the passionate, love, romantic relationship between two men happens in this one coming up, and it is stunning. And they fall in love, and then they make love.
Right. You're getting me fucking hot like right now.
Fabulous. Just make sure you wipe the seat when you get up.
John, are you happy that this is on Stars? Are you happy this is on Stars and not on Fox, where you can explore stuff like this?
I didn't know. I mean, I knew that Fox were interested, but again, that's not my division.
Right.
Yeah.
Not my,
but you wouldn't be able to do most of this.
No, you probably wouldn't. And if we had to have changed our tone, and it wasn't going to be, Jack would, if they would have changed Jack's omnisexuality or his bisexuality, whatever you want to call it, I probably wouldn't have been part of it, because it's important to me, and I don't want to sound like an old-fashioned person saying, we got to move on and move things, and because American television, to be honest with you, has the most gay characters on it in the world. Yeah. They may be stereotypes, but at least we have them there. A lot of places you can't have that. So it's not that case that they're not people aren't represented like that, but it was really important for us to have to continue this on, and yes, Stars is the place for it. They said to us, we don't want you to change anything. We want this wonderful show that you have, but we just want to make it bigger and better.
That's awesome.
So I'm glad we're there.
With all the romance and Jack now having this new experience with sex in general, are the Yanto fans going to get a little something?
Like,
In
are you
what
worried
way?
about? Well, you know, I mean, there's so many people.
Well,
so many people feel like Yanto was Jack's one true, right?
I totally get that, but I have to be honest when I'm asked questions like that because it's not my decision for any of those things. So I can't really answer that. If they get upset, they get upset.
Totally.
And I understand. But what makes me, what I love about that is that they have been so hooked in, and that storyline worked so incredibly that they're pissed off about it. I think that's great.
Totally.
But I do want them to come on the journey. I want them to be, you know, they can still be angry. I mean, people are angry that I sacrificed my grandchild. But they still watch the show. And you can, and it's great that every so often they'll say, I still miss Yanto. That's fine. I love that because he is mentioned. We do, and those relationships are what build the character and the stories to where we are now. But this relationship happened before that.
Gotcha.
So it might tell you of how I got to that point.
Gotcha. Well, that's kind of what I was asking, whether there was a mention.
She's getting all goofy now. By the way, good boobs.
Thank you.
Really good boobs.
Thank you. Everyone
You
likes
too.
your
You got They're nice.
How has Jack's mortality affected his character? You talked about like he's acting kind of like he's 20 years old now.
Yeah.
So how are you playing that differently in your head?
Well, I think there's more vulnerability. But see, I say that, and then I look back at the past performances and I watch. But I've always played Jack with a bit of vulnerability. And I think that's what makes him a good hero. But here you have vulnerability with a little bit of fear, because his mortality all of a sudden has made him realize that he could be gone. And then you've got this character now, from if we go back to his immortality. I've already said this because I might have said it at another table, but I apologize if I'm repeating myself. You've all of a sudden got this man who now has been uncomfortable with immortality, and now he's mortal, but which one does he really want? And you find out.
We find out.
You find out.
Does he get to choose?
Not telling you. Maybe he doesn't make that decision.
Does he call upon anybody from, let's say,
Another dimension? No. No. Doctor Who would not make an appearance on Torchwood because because the Doctor Who is a family-based show, and for him to come on to, it would be cross-branding that wouldn't work. Totally. I can go back to Doctor Who because my character's very different on Who as to what it is in Torchwood. And it's
that's a good point.
Yeah, and it's and also the Doctor. I'd love for him to come on, but I don't think it would be within what they call the branding or whatever of the shows.
And you and Matt have both said you want Captain Jack back for the 50th anniversary. Matt said it yesterday.
I think it would be great.
It would be.
I think it would be awesome. You know, and if Matt wants it to happen, it's his show now. I'm happy to come back. I've always said, I love Doctor Who. I came from that mothership, and I would be proud always to be asked back and to go back. But it's up to the fans letting them know that they want. Jack apparently is one of the most requested characters to come back on Doctor Who. So if you guys want it to happen, it's you guys that need to make it happen.
Jack's appearances on Doctor Who are always incredibly special. I mean, it's that special guest star that comes on, and he's the muscle and he's the humor.
I think it's because you also know the relationship.
Absolutely.
But that Jack loves Gwen. It's not a sexual love, right? It's a love of the person, the humanity. But the thing about the Doctor is Jack actually goes a little weak-kneed with him.
It's the Doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
He's that.
Yeah, and I think it would be interesting to see you and the
dynamic
between you and Matt.
Yeah.
We've seen you with Chris.
I think it would be good.
You and Matt would be.
I think it would be really good.
Yeah. Of course, there would be a crack about how young he is.
Then I would be one of the few, because Sarah Jane, God love her, Elizabeth, she was with 3 different.
Yep.
And I would be. Oh, it's really sad. I loved her. She and I, she lived in my apartment in Wales, and she and I, when I met her in the elevator, I was so gobsmacked. And the first day I met her, and then she turned to me and she said, I love Captain Jack. She said, Sarah Jane, although she doesn't agree with the violence, she would love to do something with to be.
That would be so super.
And I was so, it's one of the things I would love to have happened to have. I got to do the Who episodes, but I would love to have gone on Sarah Jane with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
You did get that moment in the TARDIS.
Well, she and I both held hands when Davros came out.
That's right.
Yeah.
And both, because I grew up with it, and she found it as one of the most frightening ones, you know, and we both looked at each other, and they actually have a shot of it, and you see us, and the fear in our faces is just like two kids. Loved it.